Welcome to Inside Lake Forest Extra. I'm Eileen Looby, your host, and today I have the pleasure of spending some time with Shea Vaughn, founder and creator of SheaNetics.
Hi.
Shea, great to see you here today.
Great to see you too.
I'm so excited to learn more about you and what inspires you and SheaNetics, the entire concept, and how people can get involved. So first, I'd like to ask you a little bit about what is your background in developing such a program for fitness and for people to get healthy?
Great. Well, I've been in the fitness industry for over 30 years. And so I've taught a lot of different formats like yoga, Pilates, gyrokinesis, dance. And so really being able to draw from all of those different backgrounds and putting the best of the best together was the inspiration to take that boredom out of it and to really be creative in putting sequences together that were empowering and really help people to get to the goals that they were looking for.
And speaking of empowering and goals, I know that there are 5 living principles of SheaNetics. Can you speak to me more about that and how that really inspires people to commit to such a program?
Right. Well, the 5 living principles of SheaNetics is really the guideline and really the pathway to well-being. And so we put them together because they're so empowering and helpful, because there's so many people that really find it hard sometimes to even get up off of the couch to go and exercise. And so those living principles are commitment, perseverance, self-control, integrity, and love. And each one of them really have a meaning and a purpose. Commitment, for instance, is a scroll that says sign. So you're signing a contract with yourself. It's not a New Year's resolution where you easily are telling yourself it's okay if I don't do it. This is actually helping yourself to succeed, making a commitment to yourself that you're going to succeed at.
Well, I think that's so important that when you point that out, it's not just a New Year's resolution. It's not just, I'm going to drop those 5 pounds to fit into this outfit. But it's a commitment to being healthy and to really working towards a goal of bettering yourself.
And realizing that you do need to commit to it to be able to sometimes get up and get out and go and do it.
Shay, now SheaNetics really comes from, you mentioned before to me, East versus West. Explain that and how that inspires the program.
Well, the Eastern philosophy really is about having bringing that mind and body together as one and truly focusing on what you're doing. And so SheaNetics is really about meditation in motion and thought, which really helps you to reduce stress. One of the things in doing a lot of reading is that, everybody talks about managing stress. And I've always found that the more you try to manage it, the more stressful you become. And so what you need to do is really think about focusing on something else to give it a break. So we call giving it a break. And giving it a break, you can do it by either exercising, reading a book, going out to lunch with a friend, something different to take that focus off of that.
Shay, I'd love to take a step back and talk more about those 5 living principles. I know we talked about commitment, but I'd love for you to share some more about the background on why that's so important to the SheaNetics program.
Perseverance is a pyramid, and it's one solid step at a time, so everybody needs to have that beginning step. Self-control is a crane standing on one leg, which actually gives you the balance and well-being that we're all looking for, because trying to balance things in life, as I mentioned before, is sometimes, multitasking or just, doing too much. Integrity is a shield. So, the visualization of what you're really talking about helps you to actually apply it in your life.
And these are all on your website.
And these are all on my website, and you can actually click on that, and you can actually go through the principles, and there's a voiceover that actually explain. I'm kind of, bringing it down to a smaller element here. Integrity is the honesty and the truthfulness in which we, present ourselves, how we see other people, and more importantly, how we want other people to see us, because we always want to be looked at as somebody who's honest and truthful. And then love is a bust of, with your hands crossed, and it's about loving yourself, but it's more important than that. It's about the choices that we make in life, and it's really about setting the best example that you possibly can, because I find it a whole lot easier to love myself when I have made a better choice. I've set a better example. I walk away and go, yeah, I feel good about that. So I want to share a story with you that kind of brings all of that together.
Please.
I thought it was so empowering. You know, usually before class, one of the things that we'll do is talk about the principles, at least name them, and then I'll ask somebody, you know, that's taking the class if there's been, you know, something in their life that week that they had to call upon all of them or one of them.
Okay.
And the other day I was having a class, and a gentleman, Scott, who was in my class, raised his hand. He says, I want to share something with you because I had to really think about these principles. And I said, great. He had been laid off and lost his job 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And he was at work on Friday, which was his last day. Had been working on a project, and he was sitting there saying to himself, do I finish this project or do I leave it for someone else? And he sat there and he said, you know, I thought about the principles, and I decided to complete the project. And that took a lot of integrity. So it called upon all 5 principles. He was committed to do the right thing. He showed perseverance in getting the job done, self-control, integrity, a tremendous amount of that. And he walked away feeling so good about himself. And that was where the love part came into it. It's not just about the exercises, but it's about taking them with you and applying them to other things that you do in life.
It's really a life practice.
It's a life practice.
And tell me more about how SheaNetics is a life practice for individuals.
Well, you know, we believe that SheaNetics really is a revolutionary, life-changing practice. And it incorporates the best of the best from yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi, martial arts. My background happens to be in dance. And so those influences are all brought into the 3 DVDs, basically, that we have already put together that can be found on the website.
Tell me more about the DVDs. Are we working from more of a basic to an advanced?
They're definitely progressive. And the first one is called Everyone's Invited.
Okay.
And the second one is Advanced Party, Let's Kick It Up. So we actually kick that up a little bit and have some fun with it. And because the third one is called Guys Only, Girls Invited. And the influence and the reason that we did that was because it's not gender specific.
Right.
We really wanted to show that this is for both, you know, all ages and for men and women.
Well, I think that's really a strong point. Now, I actually have attended one of your classes, or a couple times now, and the great thing is there are men and women of all ages, all sizes and shapes and fitness ability, and it's really great, though, to see all these people committing to something like this, and again, taking these principles, taking a hold of them, and then being able to challenge yourself, but a little bit both mentally and physically.
Right.
And it's just a great opportunity to take a break, like you said.
Right.
And the great thing, too, is not only, Shay, do you teach these classes at several of the gyms and clubs in the area, but people can do it at home on their own with the DVD.
Absolutely. And, you know, everybody's got hectic lifestyles, and they don't always have the time to go to a gym. And so the DVDs are perfect for somebody that wants to pick their own time, because maybe that class isn't just exactly at the time that they have the opportunity to do it. One of the great feedbacks that I have from the students that have been doing the DVDs, along with sometimes even doing my classes, is that, wow, I feel like I'm right with you, right there.
Great.
So in the package, they get the 3 DVDs. They get 3 CDs separately, because, you know, it's kind of nice. You're kind of like driving around and you want something that's going to calm you down or kind of inspire you. And so they can put that, you know, CD in and play it. And it also comes with a booklet that talks about the principles and some of the other, you know, benefits of SheaNetics.
Now, when you recommend SheaNetics for individuals, you recommend it as not just a single solution for people's health and fitness, but it's one part of that, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's not a magic bullet. We still recommend that people do cardio at least 2 to 3 times a week. And of course, nutrition is a huge part of all of that. So, you know, all of those things are a part of what make up well-being and help you to benefit from a complete program.